What if I told you that the frontrunner to become mayor of America's largest city has just been exposed as nothing but a complete and total fraud? A manufactured fabrication by one of the largest dark money operations in modern political history. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a documented, diabolical, systematic scheme that aims to reshape American democracy forever. And if you stick with me to the very end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it's all blowing up in their face. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness as the far left desperately tries to stop the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age that you're making happen all over the world. So if you want a front row seat on how you are changing the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. New York City stands at a crossroads with literally just hours until polls close. The race has dramatically tightened. A new Atlas Intel poll, one of the most accurate pollsters of 2024, finds Zohran Mamdani leading with 41%, former Governor Andrew Cuomo nipping at his heels with 34%, and Republican Curtis Sliwa polling at 24%. But with the latest bombshell blowing up inside the Mamdani campaign, all bets are now off. The investigative outlet White Collar Fraud has uncovered yet another explosive scandal surrounding Mamdani. White-collar fraud investigator Sam Antars reportedly just filed 11 new whistleblower complaints with the IRS, all alleging that the Mamdani campaign has benefited from over $40 million that was funneled through 6 different tax-exempt organizations that all trace back to a single source. And that, of course, is who else? The one and only George Soros. Now, the key here is that coordinated political activities that present themselves as grassroots movements that are completely independent of each other is a violation of federal tax law. According to the report, the coordination methods involved in this alleged money laundering resemble those commonly seen in sophisticated criminal enterprises involving multiple legitimate-looking entities that hide the true flow and purpose of the funds. The most damning evidence comes from the organization's own admissions. So the Working Families Party's November 2022 memo openly admits coordinating independent expenditures. So we're talking political activities that by law must be independent and cannot be coordinated. Now, what's so illuminating here is that Mamdani's campaign styled itself as a completely grassroots movement. It boasted 75,000 volunteers knocking on over 430,000 doors. But this new report alleges they were not organic volunteers. They were over 1,000 bought and paid for operatives funded by the Soros-based coordinated network. And they were deliberately deployed to boost Mamdani's campaign image while presenting themselves to voters as independent grassroots support. Moreover, we're getting word that none of these operations appear in the Mamdani campaign finance reports. And as if things couldn't possibly get worse, there's the insult added to injury, and you're not going to like this. It involves the reported $52 million in government grants that were actually subsidizing the infrastructure of these organizations. In other words, once again, like we saw with USAID, Soros emerges as a genius in using our tax dollars to subsidize his organizations, which means that you and I have basically been bankrolling this systematic coordination that's enabling this election manipulation. Now, of course, the Open Society Foundations deny these allegations, claiming the reports the reports are misleading. The numbers that they're using are inaccurate. They're stating that the grants were made years before the mayoral race even began. But this investigation is documenting that all of these supposed independent organizations all share executives. They all have integrated personnel arrangements. They literally share the same office space. They coordinate financial transfers. So all these claims to independence are obviously refuted by their spatial, relational, and financial proximity to one another. Now, beyond the funding scandal, Mamdani faces a very real credibility crisis that exposes the hollowness of his socialist rhetoric. Or another way of putting it, he's a champagne socialist, right? He's a limousine liberal, and that's what we're finding out more and more. The candidate who repeatedly called to defund the police now enjoys a security detail provided by that very police department he sought to dismantle. His campaign has spent tens of thousands of dollars on private security services, obviously a luxury that New Yorkers struggling with cost of living issues couldn't possibly imagine affording themselves. He's been caught regularly dining at some of Manhattan's poshest and priciest restaurants. He threw a lavish 3-day wedding celebration in Uganda, guarded by armed special Ugandan military forces and his own private security detail, complete with masked military security and cell phone jamming systems. So he presents himself as a man of the people, representing a completely organic grassroots movement. All the while, he's being bankrolled by Soros-linked dark money and whining and dining with some of the richest people on the planet and exploiting people's economic pain for his own advantage. And that pain is real. And for many, the dream of a comfortable golden age has been absolutely shattered. Inflation, market volatility, global economic threats, they've all turned retirement planning into a high-stakes game of economic survival. But there's obviously a much better solution than the snake oil socialism that Mamdani and Soros are trying to sell. Well, enter Block Trust IRA's amazing Animus AI, a revolutionary crypto solution that's rewriting the rules of retirement investing. This isn't just another investment platform. It's a lifeline for families desperate to break free from future financial uncertainty. Since 2020, Animus AI has done what seemed impossible, outperforming Bitcoin by over 250%. We're talking about a technology that works tirelessly, analyzing thousands of market data points to detect opportunities no human trader could ever spot. And for the first time ever, it's now available to ordinary Americans. So whether you're a truck driver or a teacher or a business owner, I mean, this is your chance to take control. And the best part is that Block Trust IRA combines the tax advantages of an IRA with the growth potential of crypto and the risk management of an AI-powered trading platform. This isn't just investing. This is generational wealth protection. That's why I am a very happy client of Block Trust. I love them, and I know you will too. With $200 million in insurance coverage, military-grade security, and access to over 60 cryptocurrencies, Block Trust IRA offers more than just an investment. It offers peace of mind. We're standing at the crossroads of a financial revolution. The question isn't whether you can afford to invest differently. It's whether you can afford not to. Don't just survive retirement. Thrive through it. Go to turleytalkscrypto.com right now and book a consultation with their crypto AI experts. Your family's future is waiting, and it's time to take control. Now, New York is truly at a crossroads. According to recent polling, over 25% of New Yorkers, that's potentially nearly 1 million people, would consider fleeing New York City if Mamdani wins. I mean, this could trigger the largest population exodus in the city's modern history. And it's all part of this dramatic shift to the far left that we're seeing among Democrat leadership. So Soros-based organizations and their hundreds of millions of dark money have basically infiltrated the Democrat Party at the highest levels. And they're forcing the party to double down on their most radical, woke, extreme wing. And that's having the effect of disenfranchising an increasing portion of the Democrat Party's own base, particularly its working class, which has already largely defected over to Trump and the MAGA movement since 2016. But now we're seeing a comparable defection even among the professional class, those who can take advantage of their mobility and who can afford to leave the city and even the state. And this is the precise pattern that we've been seeing now for the last 4 to 5 years. We are actually in the midst of the largest population shift in modern American history. And it's all moving in one direction, towards red states and as far away as possible from the Democrat Party. Bottom line, blue states are hemorrhaging residents, all the while red states are absolutely exploding with them. They are flocking to red states. Or increasingly, like we've been seeing with Arizona and North Carolina and Pennsylvania, purple states and turning them red. And what this population shift is doing is it's actually contributing to the Democrats becoming more extreme. So they're getting caught in this doom loop here, this dying doom loop. So what we find with dying parties, and that's what's happening to the Democrats. This is a consistent argument that we make on this channel and a number of our videos. They are hemorrhaging voters left and right. They are going through a voter registration crisis where in all 30 states that track voter registration trends by party, not all of them do. They only just show data that you've registered. They don't show the party you belong to. But all states, all 30 that track voter registration by party, in every single one of them, Democrats are losing voters. In every single one of them, the Republicans are gaining voters. So they are literally hemorrhaging voters left and right. It's a dying party. And dying parties have a pattern when they get into sort of this death throes. They inevitably double down on their most extreme wing because the most extreme wing is the only one that's giving the party the time of day, right? So they see the dying party and they see more opportunity for them to get into positions of leadership and get access to all this dark money. So the more the party loses membership, the more it relies on its extreme wing. But the more extreme the party gets, the more they double down on the very policies that are causing voters to reject them in the first place. So the farther left the Democrats turn, the more they implement policies that make their states completely unaffordable. 8 of the 10 states with the highest housing costs, 8 of the 10 states with the highest housing costs are solid blue states. Their high taxes, their income taxes, their property taxes, their imploding cities all contribute to a mass exodus of what we like to call refugees. So their policies create miserable conditions. Those miserable conditions drive out families, which then in turn causes the Democrats to lean even more on their more radical base, which implement disastrous policies, which causes refugees to leave, which causes Democrats to lean more on their radical base. And around we go. That's the doom loop they're caught up in. And Soros-funded Mamdani is yet the latest manifestation of this Democrat downward spiral. And that, for me, is absolutely key. That's what we have to keep in mind going into Tuesday. With all of these elections, all in blue states, by the way. All in blue states. And one exception is Pennsylvania, where they're voting on the 3 judges to have them either continue to serve for another 10 years or to vote no against them and have them depose their seats. The problem with that is I don't believe that's ever happened in Pennsylvania's history. They've never voted out judges en masse on their Supreme Court. So it's a hard ask there, and these are 3 liberal judges. So the winds are clearly blowing in the direction of the Democrats in that all these elections are in blue states. The question for us as we analyze the results tomorrow, are the Democrats going to double down on this doom loop? Are they going to double down on their more extreme wing? Are they going to Mamdani their party? Or are they, like Jersey appears to be poised to do, are they going to finally reject the Democrat doom loop and turn to the Republicans? Either way, Democrats lose. That's what you got to get. Either way tomorrow, Democrats lose. They either lose the election like it may happen in Jersey, or in effect, they lose the country. They lose the national election, with the national population increasingly and overwhelmingly siding with red state policies and voting with their feet. And so whatever voters in the 5 boroughs decide tomorrow, we can be assured that that decision will echo far beyond New York. Remember my fiery clips that went viral? Well, they've returned. It's called Turley Clips, and it's your daily shot of truth in 60 seconds or less. This is different from my main channel where we dive deep into analysis. Turley Clips is built for speed, for the moments you need the truth now. Subscribe to Turley Clips now and red pill your feed.